Welcome back to Celebrity Radio. It's Alex Belfield talking to some of my favourite people and some of the country's newest and biggest stars. There's a show going on tour called Champions of Magic through March and April 2016, and I'm delighted to say one of the stars of the show, Alex McAleer, joins us on the phone now. How you doing, Alex?
I'm very well, thank you.
With a name like that, you'll never make it in showbiz.
I know. I get called Alex the Mind Reader quite a bit because people struggle with the surname a bit.
Let's talk about this show, Champions of Magic. I mean, I'm fascinated to know what you're going to be doing because it seems that magic has had a resurgence, certainly in the West End. The Illusionists just did great business over Christmas and Impossible's been on the road and now Champions of Magic. It's a great time to be a magician and mentalist, isn't it?
It is, it really is. It's kind of, I think, there's been a lot of films recently for the past 10 years or so. There's been a good magic film every couple of years. The Illusionist, The Prestige, Now You See Me, and of course the success of Dynamo recently, and of course Darren over the past few years. So I think, it's one of those things that magic never went away, but it's a lot more in the public consciousness, and it's even better that it's all happening live now. So we've got Champions of Magic. I think this is our fourth UK-wide tour, and we've got Impossible, as you say, and Illusionist. So it's great that magic is back in theatres. It's not just on TV.
Explain Dynamo to me. I just don't get him. He looks like he needs a sandwich for a start.
I know, yeah. I don't like to put people down, but his magic isn't my cup of tea. I mean, he's done amazingly well. But it's not my particular cup of tea when it comes to magic. I can't really explain him to you.
No, I've been very lucky to see some of the greatest and know many of the greatest magicians, and they all have their own thing and their own charisma. I can't believe that Dynamo's just done arenas all across Britain doing basically close-up magic. It's extraordinary, isn't it?
It is exceptional. That's the thing that we're kind of thinking the whole magic world, and maybe the whole entertainment world is just going, how's this guy? He only really does close-up street magic on TV. How's this guy? What's he doing in the arenas? I've not seen the show yet. I hear great things. But it'd be interesting to see how what he's like on TV translates to such a big stage as well.
It's a sad weekend. We heard that Paul Daniels is very, very poorly with a brain tumour, and I'm sure you've met him over the years, as I have, and interviewed him. He was marvellous, wasn't he? A true pioneer of magic.
Yeah, there's absolutely no one. There's not a magician working today who didn't have a Paul Daniels magic kit. As in, even I did, and I do mentalism and things like that, which is related to the stuff you get in a magic kit. I had the Paul Daniels magic kit, and some of the people are sharing on Facebook now the YouTube clips of him doing like his cup and ball routine and all his classic things, the chairs that people jump up, and he's just done some amazing stuff.
He told me once that street magic is the lowest form of magic, which I thought was a funny.
I think Darren Brown used to have a quote about it saying, "You're one up from a rose seller."
Put them in their place. And I have to admit, I'm not just saying it because you're on the line, but what you do is my favourite form of the medium because it's so clever, and when done brilliantly, it is just mesmerising. The trouble with magic is we kind of get it. You're going to make something disappear. You're going to make me look stupid because you're so smart. What you do is much more on wordplay and interacting with the audience, which I guess takes an awful lot of practice and skill.
It does, yeah. I've been sort of, perfecting it for quite a while, and it is so reliant on the spectators and the participants that are involved and the audience as a whole. So that is a major part of it. With a standard magic trick, it's just a visually interesting thing to look at. But with mentalism and mind reading, it could just be a man standing. If I just stood there and told the front row a word they were thinking of for 20 minutes, I mean, it would be incredibly dull. Impressive the first time, then slowly get boring. So one of the things that I like doing is trying to come up with interesting and creative ways to sort of show off those skills that I have.
I also think you're a genius. I interviewed Copperfield a few times, and he talks about going on tour with 17 trucks and $1 million illusions. I mean, you can take a briefcase with you and do your show, can't you?
Yeah, that's slightly not young and stranger in the show. There are grand illusionists. They've got the big box illusions, and just slightly know that they're there taking stuff apart and throwing stuff back together and putting it on a van, and I just get out of my suit back into normal day clothes and I'm done.
Are you just lazy? Is that what it is, Alex?
I mean, I think certainly it's motivated by laziness.
Me too.
When I was younger, I learned a few magic tricks, and if most people start in magic, they learn a few card tricks because you can afford to buy a deck of cards. But then when you start having to buy, huge props that do things, and you need the lighting, and you need the pyrotechnics. And I just thought, I can't be bothered with that. I just do it all in my head. That's fine.
I have the utmost respect for you guys because, I mean, it really is down to your charisma and personality what you do. If you can't sell it, it's going to flop no matter how clever you are. How easy is that to be at ease with an audience? Did that take a long time?
So, yeah, it's something that came quite naturally to me. But I think that's because from a young age I was involved in amateur dramatics. So I was in pantomimes and things like that. So I was used to being on stage, and I quite liked, partly the attention, but also I liked making an audience laugh or getting a reaction from them. I like that responsibility of, like with Champions, this might be someone's Friday night out. It might be the only night out that week or that month. So I quite like the responsibility of that and having that on my shoulders. That I've got to make them have a great time. So I'm going to make them laugh. I'm going to make them be amazed. So it's something that comes with time. You have to find your own voice is what you have to find. So when I started, Darren Brown was very much prevalent. So I was very similar to Darren, mainly because the material was so similar. But then you start to find your own voice. You start to find the things that make you, as in they always say when you're on stage, that you should be a heightened version of yourself.
Right.
So the things that make you charming and more interesting, you amplify those. And that's what I try to do. And it seems to be working. Audiences seem to like it.
Help me with Darren. I just saw his West End show, sold out, expensive tickets, did a month-long run. Is he a genius?
Is he a genius? I mean, he's brilliant. As in, I'm a big fan of his work. He does the same sort of thing as me, and he's a major influence on why mentalism was so important to me. But he is a brilliant performer. Even if you find, I think on YouTube, you can find clips of him doing the stuff he used to do, which is just card magic. And even then, it was just the best card magic you could see. And it's just something about him. He's a brilliant performer, is what it is. And he's very likeable on stage. And I think people, when they go see him live, are surprised about how funny and affable he is compared to the sort of dark and mysterious man he is on TV. But it does kind of put a barrier for me that people think I'm going to be that dark, scary guy who's going to make people, push people off a roof or take over a jumbo jet or something like that.
Because you do make it clear in your act, this is all nonsense, this is an act, it's not real, I'm fooling you, I can't read your mind, I'm not a supernaturalist. You all sort of make that clear, yet we still buy into it because we're so mesmerised how you do it. It is fascinating, the psychology.
It's part of the fun with magic and mentalism. And the first words out of my mouth are that I'm not psychic, I don't read palms to talk to the dead. I read people and talk to the living. And there's a whole section as well where I explain why you should never play cards with a mind reader, which is, of course, mainly an excuse to show off, but also it's kind of an explanation of what I'm doing. I don't explicitly say, but if people are paying attention and watching closely, you can absolutely see how I'm guessing those cards and how I'm memorising all those cards and all that sort of stuff. But it's half the fun of any magic show is I know this isn't real, but everything about it is telling me that this is happening.
Yeah, incredible. And tell me about the cast for this show then. We've got the website, Champions of Magic. You can go and find out more at championsofmagic.co.uk. Tell me about the cast and what they do.
Besides myself, we have Edward Hilson. He does a classical conjuring. So if you imagine a guy in top hat and tails producing doves and all sorts of things, he does that kind of magic, but in a much more contemporary way. He's quite a young guy, so it's much cooler and more interesting. And that is the kind of magic you really want to see. You might not know you want to see it, but you absolutely do, which is a man producing doves from nowhere.
Right.
And then making them vanish. And we also have Faye Presto, who is the queen of close-up magic. What she doesn't know about close-up magic isn't worth knowing. And our grand illusionist, the guys that closed the show, Young and Strange, who just do some fantastic illusions. And their chemistry on stage as well, they're best friends. It's like watching two best friends do some fantastic Vegas-style magic, but it's got this little sort of this British, sense of humour to it as well.
You mentioned Vegas there. It does still seem to be the last bastion of where magic is number one. I mean, we look down that strip, you've got Chris Angel, probably the richest, most famous magician in the world right now, next door at MGM. Copperfield still doing it. Nathan Burton, mentalists like Frederick. You've got loads of people still at it. Is that somewhere you aspire to be ultimately?
I don't know. I'm not a big fan of very hot weather, so I'm not sure whether Vegas climate. But and I've never been there, but I'd love to go. I'd love to see Penn. I'm a big fan of Penn and Teller. I'd love to see their show. And Piff the Magic Dragon's out there, huge fan.
He is, yeah.
you've got to see Copperfield as well, because he's David Copperfield, and he's got some crazy bits of mentalism he does as well. Where he's doing a prediction with a lottery prediction with a license plate, and then halfway through just produces the car out of nowhere. He's with Copperfield. But yeah, I think most magicians wouldn't say no to a big long run in doing a show every night, which is part of the great thing about this Champions of Magic tour, is that we're doing a show every night for sort of 15 days, and it's a real privilege to be able to do that.
Yeah, what a thrill. Champions of Magic then is on tour starting in March. Let's give you just a few of the dates. You can find out more by going to the website championsofmagic.co.uk. Saturday 26th, it opens at Tunbridge Wells, then via Buxton, Preston, Lancaster Grand, Britannia Theatre in Catham. You can then go to Lincoln. I'll see you there on April the 1st, April Fool's Day. You'll be tricking us in Lincoln at the Theatre Royal, Wellingborough, Salford Quays, and you end the tour on the 10th of April in Lowestoft. Really lovely to talk to you, Alex. Good luck with the show, and I look forward to seeing you in Lincoln.